Now let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Play ball!
What may be the last game for Lee CARSLEY? He won that game 3-1 against Finland. Grealish, Trent and Rice scored the goal to beat Finland 3-1. Okay guys, if you look at that game, let's talk about the press conference after the game. He came out and said, Omo, please, this job is too big for me. I have not seen a coach like that in my whole life, that comes out to have an opportunity for you to grow in your career or grow. Imagine like a small coach going to a big club and they invite you, say, I don't want the opportunity, that let me stay where I am. He came out to say that in English team, he needs a coach that have won a lot of trophies, not like a small coach like him, that he needs to go back to his under 21. What do you make of this mentality and this man in general?
Okay, now some people may not like my opinion on this matter, but I'm going to give it irrespective. I feel that, it's okay to make mistakes because mistakes are part of football, okay? But when you make a mistake and rather than own it, you want to use it as an excuse now or use it as quid pro quo for leaving a role or a position, I don't like the look of that. So for me, the optics is not nice. Now, you did an experiment that nobody asked you to do because going into this run of games he is going to be in charge of, he's in charge of the English national team. A couple of those players have played under him before, so it's not like it's a giant leap. Because when you start saying that England needs a coach that is a winner, these are boys that you've taken, that have come under you, that you've played even when they were younger. Sure, understand me? So these are not, you are not working with a new country. You are working with the same boys you've walked around with for the past 5-6 years. And so when you come out and you say that England needs a winner, England needs this, we are not asking you to talk about what England needs. You have the role for a period of time. You came out firing, you won your couple of games, and you made one mistake. And off the back of one mistake and off the back of what the media and everything is going on around you, you come out and say that you never really wanted the job, that they should hand the job over to somebody else, that England needs a winner, this one, that one. I do not like the optics because if you look at world-class coaches make 1,001 mistakes every single day.
And sometimes you need one opportunity to make that leap.
Yeah, you need one opportunity to make that leap. Look at players, if you go back and look at some of the top coaches that we hold in high regards.
Even Southgate, I want to call him a big coach.
All of them started from that leap. That leap into that position from under 23s into the main job. He held it down and was given the job on a permanent. When the media was against Southgate, Southgate persevered with his tactics, persevered with the people he trusted, and was extended his contract, As at the point of losing in the finals of the Euros, there was still an offer on the table for Southgate to continue.
Yes.
You understand me? Irrespective of all his flaws and everything that the media has been hampering on. So at the end of the day, if you let the outside noise change what is happening on the inside, it's never a good thing.
You think he was afraid? He was afraid of the job.
We only see one side of the story. You get? English national team is a big job.
It's a big job.
What if he has another job?
What job?
Which other job? Where is the job?
What if?
Where was that job before he took over as interim manager?
He was managing camps, like on the 21 camps, the national team. I think it was too big for him. But for you to choose this smaller one.
See, understand this now. When he came into the job, he said, I'm just going to be here for a couple of games.
Why? That's the problem. Why?
See, him now.
It's a big thing for him.
I think one thing we'll see what's in the media. We'll not say what's happening in the back room.
Okay.
What if he had a fallout with one of the key players in the FA?
It's just 5 games or 4 games.
See, it's just 4 games. That's what all of us think. It's just 4 games. He made one mistake last game. What if he had a fallout with one of the key players in the FA? What if the politics in the back room of the FA is not favoring him? You get? And he's coming out to say...
Possible.
Okay,
it's possible.
Everything, like I said, we are only seeing what is in our front. We're not seeing what is happening behind closed doors. We're not seeing what's happening behind the curtains. So we are seeing what's in our front. He didn't do well against Greece. He lost, but forgot that Greece was a good side then. So we have to criticize him for not losing that game. And
English media will kill you.
And you get... So now, against Finland, we saw him play another side that, trying something. He still tried something different against Finland, and he got the wins. 3 beautiful goals against Finland. And after the game, he wins. Not that he lost and he was like out of fear of losing. He comes out to resign from the job. He won the game, and out of that winning, he said, "Okay, fine. I think it's high time I bow my head out because I feel like something is not right behind the door and people cannot know about it.
Or what if he's afraid?
See,
It still comes back to the fear matter because he said this thing about leaving when he lost the match and he just came out to reconfirm it irrespective of the win.
He said it in his first game. Understand? Go back to his first press conference as the English manager. He said something similar. Now, as the run of game continues, he said it and he said, see, and the last statement now is get a winner.
That means you are a loser.
Which means
simple.
See, you know what it means? It means what happens in the back room is we are not sure. In his mind, he's definitely certain that he's not sure they'll give him the same amount of time they gave Southgate to build. That's some factor you should also consider. And that Southgate had about 5 years to build a team.
More than 5 years.
And gone to 2 finals. You get 1 semi-finals of the World Cups and 2 Euros finals. And one of the, I think, National League semi-finals as well. So which means Southgate had like 1 National League semi-finals, 1 World Cup semi-finals, 2 Euros finals. You get now
England don't suffer.
Now under Southgate, they went to these 4 or 5 major tournament finals. And him now, he's in his mind, he's had this conversation with key players in the back room of the FA, and he's seen that they can't give him that time. So why put me through the stress of not allowing me to build, only to sack me in 6 months' time because I am not given enough time to build? Why not just bow out of the job now and get myself, because I know with the under 21s, with the under 23s, I could go to the World Cup finals. Even if I don't win it, I go to the World Cup finals.
If he did there forever,
there is no pressure on me
yes, there's no pressure,
to deliver.
Yes.
The only pressure on me is to find talents that would replace whoever is leaving the key role in the senior team. So whenever I'm selecting players to, okay, see, in this time of next year, this person is leaving. I want you to replace him. So you train those players for the World Cups of the under 23s, and you send them to the reserves of the big team.
Oh, I don't think that's a nice way to
for me,
do your career.
As a coach,
it doesn't make sense to me.
As a coach, we have coaches who are scouts. Understand this? We have coaches who are scouts.
We have coaches. He doesn't want to grow in his career.
See,
we have
coaches who are scouts. We have coaches who are tactical analysts. Now, Pep Guardiola is a tactical analyst. That's why you see him. He might not be able to scout one particular top talent. But when he comes to the general play, you see him improve the side because he's a tactical analyst. Then there are players who are scouts. They can just pick out one talent to change the whole team. You get, there are different types of coaches. And I think Lee CARSLEY is not the tactical analyst type of coach. He's not the tactical genius type of coach. He's a scouting kind of coach.
Okay, if you look at that game now, let's move to that game. That game, they won it comfortably 3-1. And they played, in quote, the normal formation that everybody knew England to play.
Yes.
But they played Palmer from the right because Saka was injured and he didn't get a goal or assist. But generally, if you look at the way England played, do you think they played better with this normal formation because Harry Kane was back? Do you think they played better than his experiment that he did in the last game?
I was thinking it was a pattern because I saw when Harry Kane was not available, England played without a striker, played with a false 9. For like 2-3 games, Harry Kane was not available. Then in the 60th minute, they bring in the bench striker. So in this game, you have an Oli Watkins, you have a Ivan Toney, you have a Solanke. Ivan Toney was not invited for the last game. So you have an Ivan Toney. Sorry, I said Ivan Toney again. You have a Solanke and Oli Watkins. And you put them on the bench. And you play a false 9. You get, in the person of either Jude Bellingham or Cole Palmer, one of them should play false 9. Jude was always dropping deep to breathe up play. You know how it gets now. Now, in this game, Harry Kane is now back fit. You're starting him. What happened to these 2 players in the last game? We've always said this before. I think Michael Owen did not start his career as a out-and-out striker. He was a supporting striker at some point. But whenever he is not available, or whenever the strikers are not available, he plays as a false 9. And England have done it once or twice in their experiment before. It has not worked. So they stuck with whenever the striker is not available, we have another striker to replace him. And they've always produced good strikers. You get? But in recent years, under Southgate and under this man now, they've done this experiment for like 4 or 5 games. And it's becoming a pattern. Whenever Harry Kane is not available, they play with a false 9. It becomes a pattern.
Well, I don't really think maybe once or twice, but I don't think
it's not like I said. It's happened in
Southgate. If I remember Southgate, I don't think he playing without a striker in his almost 7 years at.
I said like
once or twice.
Like I said, now whenever Harry Kane is not available, fully fit, whenever Harry Kane is not starting, he plays a midfielder in that position.
Who plays the first 9? That's the problem. If you look at it in the former part, because I think that England are actually produced good strikers.
Yes.
If you look at it,
yes,
they are actually produced. Even if he's probably a player playing from, because if you look at the Premier League every season, you see somewhere Somebody play at West Brom scoring 17 goals.
Yeah.
Scoring somewhere, scoring 17 goals. But if you look at that game, John, generally, do you think that England playing better than the last game?
For me, they set up better than the last game, because when you have too many, for me, look at the way I look at it. You set up with 6 people in the midfield, 4 at the back, and then you want these 6 now to work together to create a result and create the goals to get the win in the match. But all of them couldn't work together because, of course, you are playing with people. You needed somebody to be back to hold and be the rock. You needed the creative guys to go forward and get the ball. But
you see, Gomez. I think Gomez actually made this midfield stable.
Yeah, yes, the game. Yes. Playing Gomez made them stable. Of course, Rice still had his freedom to roam and go up forward. Same for Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham is this utility player that works anywhere you put him, and he drops back to help out Gomez. He also goes forward to advance the play. But the main thing for me yesterday is that the position they played, the formation they played, they got better bandwidth out of the team, because you see general performance was better as against the previous game against Greece, where general performance was worse off. So for me, I feel that the formation he did, the experiment he did that failed was wrong, because if Kane is not available, are we now underscoring the value of Watkins and Solanke in the side? Are we not saying that without Kane being in that side, that Solanke cannot carry the nation forward, or that Watkins cannot carry the nation forward? Because these are credible replacements who have been doing solid numbers in the Premier League and for the national team as well. So for me, coming to say that England have always played, if you go back in history, England have always had the Huskies, they've always had the Defoe, they've always had the Wayne Rooney, credible talents everywhere. When somebody is not playing, of course, you have a couple of players who have been sitting on the bench for England for years on years, waiting for their chance to get into.
Peter Crouch,
and the Carroll. You can call them bent and all of them. They fold them. They are there. So the over talent in striking position too much for England.
Okay. Finally, do you think who do you think should be the English coach? Who do you think for a guess? Let's put a guesswork here, because we are hearing stories about Potter. We are hearing stories about Tuchel. Who do you think? If you look at it with your spiritual eyes.
With my spiritual eyes, I would go for the man that scouts talent and also have. See, I want to go for someone that has general view of scouting and tactical analysis.
Who is that?
I think Frank would be good.
Frank who?
Frank Thomas of Brentford.
Frank Thomas. What do you think?
See, he's not on the list of coaches they want to bring in. But I think
you are just guessing.
If you ask me, I think he's just the best person to replace, not Tuchel or Graham Potter.
For me. So like I say, when you hear about the Pareto principle, it says that there is 20% of the work or 20% that gives 80% of the result. So for me, I think that you need a manager who is going to come in, have the tactical nous, and then man management. So for me, the only person I can see who can come in and deliver this result for England right now is staying at St. James's Park. So the question is he going to be allowed to take up the mantle, or will the club fight to keep him at the club?
So you are talking about Frank.
Yeah,
and your choice is
Eddie Howe.
Eddie Howe.
Come on, how would it be? Come on.
Eddie Howe is a good English coach. Come on.
See, the numbers, the numbers just doesn't add up. Numbers just doesn't add up. Both managers, the numbers doesn't add up.
Okay, let's see what the FA is going to be doing, because Lee says that he's not doing again. He no one do, no be by force. That after today's game, that he's hoping that the English FA will find a coach before the November international break.